Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and in this video I am going to address head-on a couple of comments and very tough questions that I received in the last video. So come on, let's go. The first question came from Franklin Santana, and he says, open question. How the use of the powerful XRP ledger will help the price of XRP. Please, tangible answers. Thank you. All right, I'm going to give you a tangible answer. When we talk about price, and this is for all markets, there are two basic factors that impact price. One is supply and demand, and supply and demand is a form of utility. The more you have demand, the impact you have on the supply, and that in turn impacts price. The second one is speculation, and speculation is driven by greed and fear. These are the basic two mechanisms that have an impact on price. Now, keep in mind that the use of the digital asset XRP in the on-demand liquidity solution is just one use case. So this is a utility that the company Ripple has decided to use XRP for. But there are many other ways that XRP is being utilized. So it's not just one play of utility. It's the many plays of utility. And of course, when we have more utility, there becomes more demand. More demand has an impact on supply. Supply has an impact on price. You can listen to David in his own words talk about it from this podcast all the way back from 2015, when on-demand liquidity, or what we know today as ODL, was still basically a grand vision.
All that. Can you address the value of XRP for our listeners and for that guy? Well, obviously it's hard to predict the future, and there's certainly no such thing as a sure thing. Risk and reward always come in pairs. So the thinking is that if you have a large number of currencies on the Ripple network and a large number of institutions issuing them, it will be very difficult to find a direct path between two currencies. So if you have US dollars issued by a local chain and you want to pay somebody in Guatemala who gets cash at his grocery store, the probability that there'll be someone offering to trade one of those currencies directly for the other is pretty low, and that the liquidity will probably be through some intermediary currency. The Ripple network has a native intermediary currency called XRP, or sometimes called Ripples. And the advantage of Ripples is that there is no counterparty. There's nobody. It works just like Bitcoin. Your Ripple balance is just a number on your Ripple account on the Ripple network. And the theory is that because XRP doesn't require any trust or anything in common, it can flow between any two accounts. You don't have to agree to have somebody hold it for you. And so if that becomes the premier intermediary currency, then two types of people will want to hold XRP. One will be people who don't know what currency they'll need next. If the path from dollars to euros tends to go through XRP, then if you don't know whether you'll need dollars or euros, it makes sense to hold XRP, because then you only have to pay half the spread. And then the other thing is market makers. If you're just trying to make a market and people who are selling their dollars want XRP because that's what they need to buy euros, then if you want to be able to buy dollars, XRP is the currency that you're going to need to hold to buy them. If that's the way it plays out, then the demand for XRP will go up, and therefore the price will go up. But again, nobody's crystal ball is clearer than anybody else's. That is certainly something that may or may not happen.
Here's question number 2. This comes from TZ. TZ has been leaving me comments like this for, I think, years. But, I really encourage that kind of conversation, because I think it's very healthy, and it's super healthy to have these kind of comments in the section for everyone to read. And I do my best to answer them. This one is just getting old, though. Okay, Flare is a joke. TZ, it's not a joke. He says that I cannot believe anyone still puts faith in Hugo. Yeah, I still put faith in Hugo. And why hasn't XRPL come out with on-chain smart contracts? It's coming, TZ. It's coming this year, probably in late summer, early fall. And this is a lame ecosystem. I don't think so. It's still building out. No on-chain governance. No on-chain governance. Well, it has governance through the XRPL Foundation. So, yeah, I have to disagree with you there. Ripple spent 100 million promoting NFTs, even though the XRPL can't handle smart contracts. Not yet. And no influencers call Hugo or Brad out. Yeah, no, you're not going to hear me call Hugo out, nor Mr. Garlinghouse, because actually I think they're both doing a fabulous job. And gotta be shills. Well, I guess that's an interpretation of someone who is believing in a project. I own 36 different digital assets in my portfolio. 36. Do I talk about them all? Not all on my YouTube channel, but I do talk about them in my Patreon group, and I share that portfolio with my Patreons. I'm a swing trader, so every time my portfolio significantly changes, I create a percentage breakdown of what those digital assets represent. And within the 36, if I am going to guess or estimate which ones are going to be successful, well, if you take an average venture capital firm who have a success rate of approximately 3 out of 10, well, that leaves me with, I think realistically, maybe 8 to 10 that are actually going to make it. And when I mean make it, I mean really come out on the other side of any big bear market, especially the one that we're in now, to be deemed successful. If I was to be called a shill, I think it's fair to say that I'm a shill for digital assets that have utility. Yeah, I wouldn't shy away from that. But what I want you to listen to now is a quick clip from Mickey B. Fresh. He put together a video today, and I think he sums up Flare and the coming network very well. Have a listen.
So what is Flare Network? Why did they change their tagline to connect everything from unlocking value? Flare is a new layer 1 blockchain which enables secure, universal interoperability between chains, scaling the use of blockchain by enabling all digital assets and on-chain information to flow freely. This is a cross-chain interoperability with the security of multi-chain. So what does that mean? So what is the security of multi-chain? So think like Polkadot, how there's a bunch of parachains, they all run the same protocols. Cosmos, they all run the same IBC protocols, so they have the same security. But when you try to connect Polkadot to Cosmos, you don't have that security. Flare is able to maintain that security with Layer Cake. So they're able to build, instead of 4,950 bridges between the top 100 blockchains, they're able to use one smart contract with each blockchain to be able to connect all top 100s. And this is a breakthrough. And why is this possible? This is possible because of the state connector system, which we're going to get into. But you could build multi-chain with a single deployment. Developers are able to build truly interoperable dApps that access the value, information, and liquidity of multiple chains with a single deployment on Flare. Now that's very powerful. We have not even seen dApps ever that in the history of crypto that have been able to do this. So this is something completely new. So instead of having Avalanche, Aave, for example, on Ethereum, and then on Avalanche, and then on Solana, on another network, you don't have to do that with Flare's Layer Cake. You're able to do one deployment on Flare that's able to connect to all these other networks. And this is very powerful. This is why Flare is like a next gen. I call it a 4th gen blockchain.
So Flare is a breakthrough layer 1 protocol. There has never been anything like it done before. It's very powerful, and it is more complex than Hugo originally thought he was going to build, and his team, of course, has met the challenge, and these things take time. And he's also very security minded, which I'm happy for. I'm thankful for. So there has been the testnet with the Canary network, which is Songbird, and this ongoing testing of making sure that everything is ready so that you don't have to find these discoveries of some vulnerability after people have put their real money on the network. So I am so thankful that he is taken the time to make sure that it is a safe network, and the time that it's taken has built out something that is completely fresh, completely new, a first time ever. I'm just thrilled, and I think the whole blockchain space is going to be just jaw down when they see what has been built, because it has really been moving under the radar. So yeah, this is how I feel, and I'm very happy to see Mickey B. Fresh back making videos again. You can get to his channel at Mickey B. Fresh, and you can see that he's done, what is it, in the last 10 days or so, 12 days or so, in the last month. Yeah, he's starting to make videos again, and no doubt when Flare goes live, he's going to have lots to talk about. I really trust his information, and I would give him a follow if Flare is something you are interested in. Now I want to talk about a comment that came off the back of the XRP, the Standard Productions tweet. This guy is funny. He has a wonderful sense of humor. It's a parody account, so if you don't find his humor funny, then don't follow him, but I enjoy it. So he tweeted out, "Hey, Sento Sumo Saba, can you confirm the rumor I just started that Yoshitaka Kitao changed his Twitter name to Big Yoshi XRP 589? Well, I responded with, this is Big Yoshi here in the Mario characters." So I just put the reclining Big Yoshi there, which I think is pretty funny. But somebody said that yeah, he did that in celebration of his great success, as XRP will be used for payments of up to 5,000 used cars in Africa, with many laughing emojis. Now, this person thinks that just because the SBI Africa has only imported, or we should say exported, from Japan to many different African countries, only 5,000 cars thus far, is kind of laughable. But you need to understand that there are ancillary revenue streams around these cars, such as leasing, and much of that leasing is done for the Uber drivers that are there. There's insurance, there's repair, there's auto parts, and there's auction. This is just to name a few streams, all of which have been activated. And oh yes, don't forget the export now of Japanese heavy equipment for construction projects in Africa. They were just added last week. So when you see, oh, just 5,000 cars have been exported thus far, it seems a little bit small business, right? But what's happening is that SBI is building many, many businesses that have synergy around this exporting of cars. So I think it's a bigger revenue play than just 5,000 used Japanese cars. All right, let's move on to the next. The next comment was very good. This is from Lumen's Bull, obviously an XLM fan. Crypto Eri, it's just simply tunnel vision syndrome that dominantly maxis in general deal with. Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. And then it goes on to say that I am smiling, drinking my tea, developing on the Stellar network. Its utility is unmatched at the moment. Still good to hold XRP, though I know both will succeed either way. Yeah, I don't disagree with this either. You've got a big pie here, a payments pie, and there's going to be lots of different pieces carved out. There's not going to be just one method of payments and one solution. No. And what you see here is XRP used as a bridge asset sitting in between two different fiats, whether it's traditional fiat or in the form of a CBDC, which is digitized. It's going to be able to be that neutral bridge. But then you've got Stellar, and they're approaching the payment space totally different. They are going all in with stablecoins. So yeah, it's just interesting, and I think there will be multiple solutions out there. Ripple is going to have a piece of that pie. Stellar is going to have a piece of that pie. It's just really interesting to see how they are approaching solving this payments problem across borders in different ways. Here's a clip that I pulled from Danelle, and she is talking about their commitment to using stablecoins. I put it out on Twitter today. It's very good, yet you really can understand their commitment. Have a listen. Oh, and in the middle of this clip, you're going to see one of their anchors. Their anchor in this particular case is wire payments. And you can see the actual payment flow where they are using the stablecoin USDC. So this fully explains how USDC is being woven into the Stellar network for payments. All right, here you go.
You aren't necessarily looking for, even though Lumens is the native token, you aren't necessarily looking for all of these transactions to be facilitated through the use of Lumens, that you're actually just as happy for them to use other stable coins. I mean, tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think that payments are, if a stable coin is really a stable coin and true to its name, it's going to have that one-to-one backing. It's going to get a lot of trust from the user. And because they know that the value isn't going to change between the time you send and then you receive the payment. That's really important. Asset issuance on Stellar takes literally a line of code. It's one of the things that we, asset issuance and payments are really what the network is about. The Lumen is an incredibly important part of what is in the network. The Lumen is the native currency, the native piece of cryptography that makes sure the transactions are safe and secure, and that also makes sure and protect us against spam and DDoS in terms of the network. It's a really important piece of the network. But, and people can choose to leverage Lumens to be able to send value. There's a decentralized exchange, and that exchange can be leveraged to change into lots of different currencies. But in terms of what we look for, because this is what payment providers and what users who are sending value look for, is a stable asset that they can leverage to make sure that they send and receive the same thing. So we think stable coins are the best.
Now, when Wire takes a payment in via fiat, whether it's by a bank card or bank transfer, Wire can convert those funds into USDC on Stellar and move those funds to a Stellar-powered wallet. And conversely, to receive funds from Stellar-powered wallets into our platform and able to off-ramp those funds.
We have 30 different stable coins that are issued on the network that are based on local currency that are one-to-one fiat backed. We think payments should be in stable coins. USDC Stellar is one of the big ones that lots of payments companies want to leverage, wallet providers want to leverage.
Kontiki asked me why my car that's going to the moon in the opening clip, that's where I had put it in yesterday's video, is spewing a trail of fossil fuel emissions. Should you not be changing it to an EV, an electric vehicle? Just kidding. Well, let me make it clear that my car that's going to the moon, those are actually pink champagne bubbles that are coming out. So yeah, it is nothing to worry about. So speaking of my car, just jump right in. Let's go to the moon. And I have a short fluff for you as soon as we get there.